Ми стараємося бути не нервними, коли стріляють. У нас тут трясеться все.
This is what children say about life under constant bombardment. They're hiding in one of the surviving bomb shelters with their mothers, grandmothers and grandfathers. There are hundreds of those who couldn't escape from the city.
Мы лишились дома, мы лишились средств к существованию. Мы хотим жить нормально, спокойно. Мы хотим выйти отсюда. Лишили нас всего. Ну хоть жизни дайте нам, хоть дайте нам еще пожить чуть-чуть.
They run out of food and medicine. Water has to be drained from the radiators. They are in despair, but they hope that they will be able to get out of this hell on earth.
Завдяки воєнним в нас є що їсти, тому що якби не воєнні, я не знаю, як би ми взагалі з цим справлялися.
The military, which shares with civilians everything they have, is nearby. Time and time again, they repel enemy attacks and try to make sure that these people survive. No one believes the occupiers. That is why I call on politicians from all over the civilized world to organize a green corridor and provide security guarantees for the immediate evacuation of civilians, wounded and the bodies of slain soldiers who must be buried with honors. This is the address of the commander of the Azov Regiment, Denis Prokopenko. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, awarded him and the commander of the Marines, Volodymyr Baranyuk, who is also defending the city, the title of Hero of Ukraine for doing everything to stop the occupiers together with their subordinates. Russians treat various other soldiers who are there differently, and you know it perfectly well. There are soldiers that they hate completely, and I do not believe that they will save their lives even if they promise. Mariupol has been completely surrounded for almost 2 months. Some districts of the city are occupied by the enemy. Until recently, Ukrainian forces were cut off from each other, but in mid-April, the Marines made their way to the Azov Regiment. We teamed up with worthy fighters from Marine Corps Battalion, real warriors, heroes who turned out to be true to the oath, faithful to the Ukrainian people and continue to defend the city. These are real men who have chosen the path of war. Conducted a successful operation with the Azov Regiment, joined them. We have successfully regrouped and continue to perform combat missions. Our morale is strong. They stand side by side against the occupier. For every Ukrainian defender, there are 6 Russians. For each Ukrainian unit of equipment, several dozens units of enemy equipment. And even so, the Ukrainian military is destroying the opponent. According to Azov estimates, they destroyed 46 tanks, hit another 27, liquidated 69 infantry fighting vehicles and BMDs, and 30 armored personnel carriers. On their accounts are Russian armored vehicles, Typhoon, Wrist, Tiger, drones, planes and boats. Every 3 hours, the Ukrainians destroy 1 unit of enemy equipment. Every hour, they liquidate 2 occupiers. Tell me, is there one place in this world where there is such heavy and fierce fighting? Tell and try imagine how the military, who are fighting under constant enemy fire from tanks, artillery and airstrikes, feel. With each passing day, there are less battles for the defenders of the city, but they bite into concrete, burst into the ground, go crazy to endure all this hell. But again and again they rise, reach full height and go to destroy the occupier who cannot be forgiven for all these crimes. The Russian occupiers do not leave attempts to destroy the defenders of Mariupol. Russian troops are firing from artillery, tanks, multiple rocket launchers and aviation. For the first time since the beginning of the armed aggression, long-range bombers Tu-22M3 bombed the city of Mariupol. Tu-22M3 is a long-range strategic missile-carrying bomber. Invaders who cannot take Mariupol are waiting for such applications. They even tell their relatives about it.
Там уже завод лупят авиаударами.
Азов?
Завод, сталь.
Ну, я говорю, Азов, сталь?
Да, уже там его переворачивают. Ждем тут сюрпризы от России.
Какие?
3-тонные с неба.
Кидать?
Да.
Ой, ебана мать. Представляешь,
Да.
какой там это будет взрыв, какой это все
Там
будет.
будет писец это просто. Сказали сравнять все с землей.
The Russians are trying to justify their action by fighting against neo-Nazis, so they call the fighters of the Azov unit. The enemy propaganda machine also speaks of them, like this is a unit controlled by no one which does whatever it wants in Ukraine, and this is a lie. In fact, Azov has been a part of National Guard of Ukraine for many years and is subordinate in particular to the command of the armed forces. Another popular myth dispersed by Russian propagandists is that symbol of the regiment is supposedly one of the symbols of Nazi Germany, but this is also a lie. In the subsection, they said more than once the letters I and N are combined in the symbol and they mean the idea of nation. Despite all the obstacles that have been on our way all 8 years from the creation of unit and a ban of training with NATO instructors, a ban of supply of weapons, legends about Nazis, we are standing further. We will fight because Mariupol is Ukraine.
Ми стоїмо далі. Ми будемо битися, бо Маріуполь – це Україна.
They stand despite the fact that 95% of the city was destroyed by Russian troops. They are trying to save those who are left without water and shelter.
Я Макар.
Иди ко мне. Стреляют.
Я Макар. Мне сегодня 7 лет. А это мой дом. Вот, это мой дом. Спасибо спасителям из России, что сделали вот такое. Ну, то, что вы сейчас видите.
Ruined buildings, bodies in the middle of the streets, graves along roads and near playgrounds. According to the military civilian administration, only about 20,000 civilians have already died in Mariupol. This is every 25th inhabitant. And the Russian authorities trying to hide it. They burn the bodies in mobile crematoria. They do not want the world to know about their next atrocities, as happened with Bucha and Irpin near Kyiv. The occupier wants to take Mariupol and move further. Whether they succeed depends on the defenders of the city, who are ready to fight till the end.